Good morning, Pastor Jerry. Good morning, Mama. Good morning, Pastor Guru and the team. My name is Eno. I'm testifying from Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. I am a nurse and I'm testifying on behalf of my patient, my former patient. So her name is actually Patience Ekane. She is here with me. What God cannot do does not exist. So this patient, I met with her in my facility. I'm working in one of the government facilities here in Uyo. So I met with her. She came with a very terrible condition. She had massive ovarian cysts and she had fibroids, multiple fibroids, and she had a condition of the liver that causes the liver to leak fluid, cirrhosis of the liver that causes the liver to leak fluids into the abdominal cavity. So her tummy was very big with the multiple fibroids and the cysts and the fluid leaking from the liver. Her tummy was very big. So it got so bad that she used to go to the teaching hospital to drain the fluid over time, and after some time she will go back for within intervals of 3 to 4 months. She will go back to the teaching hospital to drain the fluid. So finally surgery was advised. So she came to my facility for this surgery, and one of the staff saw her and actually thought that she was pregnant because her tummy was very big. So the person directed her to the maternity unit, not knowing that she wasn't pregnant. So I was the nurse on the night shift. So I managed her for about 3 days before she went in for her surgery. So she's been with this condition since 2019. So she was suspected to have had 90% suspected to have had cancer cells. But finally, God came through. And after the surgery, she had abdominal drain in situ to collect the stale blood from the surgery. So a few days after that, about the time the abdominal drain was supposed to be removed, another fluid started coming, which was suspected to be from the liver. So I noticed it and I indicated in her folder and I reported. So the consultant came that morning, on a Monday morning, while I was so close from my night shift. So the consultant came and I showed the consultant, and he was very alarmed, saying that in less than 1 hour after I had emptied the fluid at night, and the one that collected at night, that was drained at night, throughout the night. So I emptied it by about 6 a.m. in the morning. So between 6 a.m. and past 7, because at the time the consultant came, Nsppd was playing. I was playing Nsppd on my phone. So between that 6 a.m. and past 7, the fluid had drained 1,600 mils in less than 1 hour. So the consultant was very alarmed, and we knew that the fluid was from the liver. So after I had left, I took her number. Very unlike me, I took her number and I thought to check on her. So 2 days after, I called her and she cried. Her mom cried. She told me that the consultant said they were going to refer her to another hospital, maybe outside of the state, or because she used to go to teaching hospital already. So, and another specialty hospital. So I don't know where they were referring her to, but she said they were going to refer her. So I told her that at this point, all that you need is God. You don't need, at last, what they are going to do for you is going to be liver transplants. And you don't even have that money. This surgery was paid for by somebody, a well-meaning woman in the state. So she didn't even have money to eat food, not to talk of having liver transplant. So I told her, this is what you need. So before then, she used to see me playing Nsppd at night. So I told her I was going to put her on the altar of fire, that God was going to heal her. So I suspended my own prayers and I put her on the altar of fire. I prayed for her for 2 nights. On the 18th of November, 2022, the word of the Lord came. Few minutes into the prayers, Pastor Jerry said, that liver that is leaking fluid, he said it 3 times, that liver that is leaking fluid, and he commanded it to reverse.
That liver that is leaking fluid, that liver that is leaking fluid, that liver that is leaking fluid, your healing has come. Your healing has come. Let it be reversed. Let it be reversed.
And you needed to see me. I was jumping around my house. What God cannot do does not exist. I was so excited. So after the prayers, I called her back and I replayed that particular prophecy. And she said, this is my case, but wait. How did the pastor know me? She started asking me questions. How did the pastor know me? As the pastor does not know you. She said, did you send my name to the pastor? Did you tell her? Okay, it must be that you know the pastor one-on-one. You must have told the pastor about my case. You must have taken my name to the pastor. I said, I did not send your name to any pastor. She said, so are you going to tell me that somebody is going to pray on the internet and I will get healed? But this is her case, that has been mentioned, but that she doesn't have the kind of faith. At a point, she told me that if God was going to heal her, that God was going to use my faith and not her own faith, because she doesn't have the kind of faith to believe that pastor will pray on the internet and she will get healed somewhere. And how does that one even happen? And she was asking me, do you know the money I've spent? She has lost her marriage, she lost this, she lost that, her business, everything gone down. I don't know what she had done, the places that she had gone. I said, you did not come to Altar Fire, all the places that you went to. She mentioned where she used to go to churches, you pay hotel, do this, all manner of things. For somebody to have had this condition, when you see her tummy before now, you will understand what I'm saying. For someone to have had this condition, she was mocked everywhere. People tell her, this is your pregnancy, when are you going to give birth to it? According to her, I didn't know her then. But as soon as this word came, Pastor Jerry, the following day, I called this lady. I asked her, how much fluid do you have in the bag? She said, wait, that fluid that was leaking 1,000 something mils in less than 1 hour. So this is a whole day. She said, don't cry, it's okay, it's okay. This is a whole day, like 12 hours. She had 350 mils. When she told me, I said, come on, what God cannot do does not exist. The following day, I called her. I called her the following day, again, the next day. She said, that the nurse in the previous shift had forgotten to empty the bag. So, right now, she has less than 150 mils. I told Jerry, I told her, are you still doubting what God can do? I just told her, keep declaring. Even her mother that was behind the hospital, I told her mother, you may not be able to speak English. Speak in our language. Say Basedi Gemekedina Ibaga. Ma, do you hear what I'm saying? She said yes. I said, declare it. Say Basedi Gemekedina Ibaga. And she kept declaring. And the following day, there was no fluid at all. There was no fluid in the bag at all. It's true. My colleague even said, wait, this has to be a miracle. So is it that prayer platform that you used to send to me on WhatsApp and I refused to join, that God did this miracle? I said, yes, now. She said, okay, that she was going to join. I said, okay. So, a few days after, the consultant came. They checked everywhere. They said, what's going on here? How are you telling us that what happened? Did the liver suddenly get healed, or what happened? How did this even happen? So the consultant came. Another consultant from the teaching hospital was invited. They checked everywhere. They were even afraid to remove the drain. They thought maybe the drain must have dislodged or something. They said, okay, the drain should remain for another 72 hours for them to check if there will be any fluid collection. After 72 hours, they did not see any fluid. They said, okay, let's remove the drain to see if the fluid the abdomen will be distended, to see maybe there was something. They checked everywhere. They did scan. They did all manner of things. They invited consultants from different places. They checked and checked, and there was no fluid. What God cannot do does not exist. This is my patient. Look at her, very fresh. I'm just seeing her today since November, since the day I left that hospital. I was on leave, so I was always talking to her on phone. I didn't see her until she was discharged and Now I'm finally seeing her today. I had to delay this testimony so I could see her physically, because this is not the kind of testimony that you say somebody is in Kafanchan. This one, she is here live. What God cannot do does not exist. I am happy and I'm excited because I actually tied this testimony to another testimony, and I told God, use this one to confirm to me that this one is urgent. Use this one to confirm to me that you have done the other one. And God came through. What God cannot do does not exist. So we are here to give God all the glory and honor. She is well and sound, and all the things that were taken to the histology unit in the teaching hospital, we came back without cancer cells. There were no cancer cells. The medical superintendent was telling her, the consultant, everybody, they told her, you see that your altar, that fire altar that you say that you pray, keep praying, because you don't know what God has done for you. All of them that did not believe, even other doctors that are also Nsppd in my facility, they came. One of them even gave her Streams of Joy devotional to read. They also shared their own testimonies with her, and she believed. Now she's proper Nsppd. Although she doesn't have phone, she will have phone. Amen. What God cannot do does not exist. We are here to honor God. Pastor Jerry, thank you. Thank you for your tenacity. Thank you for all the things, the blood and sweat that you put on this altar to pull the weight of God that you're pulling on this altar. This is not being. See, God is not a boy. God is God. He's a full-fledged God, the one that created the heavens and the earth. God is good. God is so good for removing this kind of affliction from this lady for those number of years. When you see her before picture, you will understand what I'm saying. What God cannot do does not exist. Finally, she would have had to carry, if there was no means for liver transplant, she would have had to carry the drainage bag, leaking fluid from her liver for maybe a long time, for God knows when. God healed her perfectly. I saw her today and she looked brand new. What God cannot do does not exist. This testimony is particularly very exciting for me because I prayed this prayer and God came through. I am so happy that God answered this prayer for me. What God cannot do does not exist. Say thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you to Pastor Jerry.
Pastor Jerry and Mama, everybody there. Thank you. I appreciate your God in Jesus' name.